Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Raven here. Sorry it's taken me so long to make a video. I've been working on the newest book that I have been writing for a while. It should be hopefully published soon. Let's get right into it. Today is the battle between Magi and our character William. We're going to roll percentiles to see what happens during the descriptive battle. And we've got a list right here for some things that will occur. And let's go ahead and get right into it. As we are in this never-ending realm that me and Magi have created, flying in the air, looking down at Magi covered in his half flame, half ice aura. We're going to see who goes first. So we got a 76 and Magi got an 82. So I gotta mark this down real quick. Because Magi has 12 combat points and we have 15 combat points, so that we need to keep track of real quick. And Magi goes first. He uses one of his combat points to start rushing forward through the sky as he gallops. Both flames and bursts of ice erupt from underneath his hooves in the air, ripping up the ground and exploding it from underneath his push-off and incinerating and exploding the air and then freezing it with every step that he takes through flight. And as he gets close, he spends another combat point to use his breath weapon that is both fire and ice mixed together, and we're going to see if it hits us or not. So he rolls he only rolled an 11. Oh, we didn't roll much better. We only rolled literally double him, 22, but it's double his, so that's funny. So as he breathes this breath of flame and ice that twists and swirls together, as it's just about to hit and engulf us, we open up our mouth and let loose a burst of purple magic breath from our mouth that blasts through and incinerates the breath of Magi. And this collision shakes the realm that we have created so bad that it begins to crack and ripple and break. And as it breaks, we begin to fall down into the mortal realm. And as we fall down back into the mortal realm. Awesome. Magi rolls an 11 again, and we rolled in a 66 as we use our power, our divine concept power of creation to create a portal that rips us into another realm of existence. And let's see what realm we got. Okay, so an 8, 9, and a 10 is a reroll. Okay, 2, as we get ripped through this portal, we end up in the realm of darkness as we come through, and that costs me 3 combat points, so I'm at 12. Excuse me. And that, as that happens, we begin to look around, and we both realize quickly that we are in the realm of darkness. And as we notice this, the creatures from the realm of darkness feel our presence, and they all begin to immediately flee as they see us colliding and flying and down to the ground as we fall and make a crater so big that it cracks almost down into the center of the realm's core. And as this happens, we both spend a combat point to get back up, and then we both spend a combat point to start moving back up the crater from the almost center of the realm, as we are both continuing to fight as we fly up, and as our auras clash together. 36 and 5, as our auras clash together. Magi's aura manages to begin to overtake our aura, and as this happens, we are going to spend a combat point to teleport us, or to teleport the both of us to a random space that is 300 feet away from each other. And so we'll see. Okay, so 88, so it looks like, yeah, so Magi's teleported up, we're teleported down. And as that happens, he starts screaming and neighing as he spends a combat point to let loose another one of his breath weapons. And Let's see, he got a 49, and we got a 52. As he lets loose his breath weapon, we once again let loose ours, and as they clash, they begin to rip and tear and destroy the realm of darkness from the inside, as we're still in this tunnel crater that we created, and our magic blast erupts, destroying the core of the realm of darkness. But as before we are consumed, 9, 8, 7, 6. Before we're consumed, I'm going to spend 3 combat points to create another portal and rip us through another portal. This one. 2, we were just there. 2, we were just there. 7 is, oh man. Alright, number 7 is the last one on the list. As I rip open a portal and we appear in a place unknowing to me, for I have not studied it, and it is filled with dark gray tones, a green river with a dock, a boat, and it looks like a skeleton steering said boat. In the distance, there are mountain ranges for as far as the eye can see that go in all different manner of rigid spiked directions. And behind us is a never-ending plain of half flame and half ice, as Magi begins to laugh and says, "Ha, well, I guess I should say thanks for bringing me home. Welcome to my world, the Underworld." As, let's see, 45, and cool, as skeletons and zombies begin to erupt and burst from the ground all around us, and we just stomp the ground, shattering and exploding the zombies from the force of our stomp that breaks a 10-foot deep by 5-foot wide crater around our foot into the ground. As we look at Magi and say, well, I've always wondered what your true power was like. And he says, well, I guess you're about to see now, aren't you? As he spends 3 combat points to summon a mass of 10,000 skeletons that engulf him around his body as he grows to become 15,000 feet tall by 12,000 feet long from his nose to the tip of his tail, as the bones rattle and shake and scream in pain with his roar. The world begins to shake and tremble, both in the mortal realm and here in the underworld in which it is connected to. And as this happens, he looks at us and goes, "Well, how will you defeat me now?" And we're going to look at him and say, "Well, we've been waiting exactly for this moment. For only at your true power can I say that this has been the battle that will create the new world. And you were never evil. And I am sorry to have thought so for all this time. However, you must be destroyed." And with that, we are going to spend the last 6 of our combat points to make an all-out breath attack, which I will have to calculate real quick. Let's see. We've got base of 200 plus the 100 that the breath does, and then it's times 4 because we have multi-attack with 4 attacks, and then that's per combat point, so times 6. And as we use our 6 combat points, he spends his 4 to use the bones that he's created to like shift and move and float and break down pieces so that he shrinks a little bit, and they create like a wall in front of him. And he uses we'll say 2,000 of the 2,000 out of the 10,000, so he's got 8,000 left. And as that happens, our breath bursts through his skeletal shield wall, And let's see. And as it bursts through his skeletal shield wall, it crumbles to the ground, and then it continues to fly forward and smack the skeletal structure of him right in the face as it blasts him, dealing 5,200 damage to the 8,000 armor. So let's see, 8,000 minus 5,200. So he's at 2,800 for his shield, as most of the bones begin to break and crumble down to the ground. And then now, in turn order, it's our turn, and we get all of our combat points back, because you can use your combat points on yours or any other creature's turn. And now excuse me, now since Magi has used all of his combat points, now we can look at him as we can see his armor starting to fade and crumble, and we can see his aura just burning bright as ever, and the flame in one eye and the ice in the other, as he looks at us with a glare that would kill any mortal in an instant, as he screams, "This is not over!" And we look at him and say, "May you rest in peace, great Lord. I promise to consume thy power and use it well." As we ready the most powerful breath weapon that we can, using all of our combat points and combining all of our spells together, we deal a minimum of 21,000 damage, not counting the additional spell effects, of which are consumption and learn. And let me check Magi's health real quick. He has 25,000. So let's see. This is, we'll go minus 2,800, because that's his armor. And then, alright, so 18, okay, so 25 minus 18 to He's at 6,800 life still as we blast him with our most powerful breath weapon. However, we get a 90 and he gets a 30 because we attack, so we roll first. And as our breath weapon hits him, his soul begins to scream out in pain as it gets pulled in by our breath's magic as we inhale our breath weapon and suck in and absorb and eat and consume his soul. And then the second spell activates, learned, as we now absorb and learn all of Magi's abilities as the world begins to shift and break down and shatter and reshape into a form of our desire. And with that, we go to the mortal planes. We tell the elves and those of our kingdom what we have done. We project a worldwide image through every creature's head that is intelligent enough to understand. And we tell them what has happened. We show them what has happened through visions. And then we appoint the 4 elves as the leaders of this new world. However, we have to see if they're going to choose to come with us or not. So, one of the young boys says, "Thank you. I will gladly protect this world in your honor. And I promise that nothing will come to harm, as so said by my word." The next twin boy, his brother, 67, he looks at his brother and he begins to cry. And he looks at the rest of everyone, and he looks at the 2 elves girls, and he begins to cry. And he says, "Though I have enjoyed it here, our land is gone. The world is born anew. We do not belong here. I choose to go with you, William. Please, allow me to be the first among your new pantheon." And we look at him and say, "It takes great courage to leave your brother behind. It takes even greater courage to know that you will outlive his mortal life and watch as he withers and dies. So this I will grant you, under the exception that when your brother's time comes, you mustn't save him. He must allow his soul to go into the cycle of death and rebirth. And he says, he looks at his brother. They both hug each other, crying. They nod, and he says, well, brother, I'll see you when it's your time. And with that, he sticks out his hand, and we stick out our claw, and we place our claw on to his hand, and he uses his whole hand to shake just the very tip of our claw, and we bestow upon him a divine concept level, raising him into a demi concept of loyalty. And as that happens, now we will do the twin sisters. Alright, the first sister, she says, well, I can't count on this fucking bozo to be the only hero of this new world. I mean, someone with brains has got to re-establish the guild organization, am I right? And we look at her and go, you are very true, very correct. And it's gonna be unfortunate to not have your great water magic in the new realms that I create. However, the mortals need you more than I, so I am glad that you have made this decision. Now, what about you? Oh, Earth Golem Master, though I bestowed that staff upon you so long ago, you have more than mastered its capabilities. What do you say? Do you choose to stay here, or will you come with me and create a multiverse full of vast new worlds and realms and realities? She looks at her sister and she says, well, I mean, if you're gonna stay, you know, all I really care about is my golems. I mean, I have to be honest with myself. Ever since he gave me this staff, everyone knows it's kind of all I care about. I mean, I love everyone, obviously, and I'll protect everyone, but in order to do so, I must create the most absolute perfect golem, and then I must duplicate that golem into an infinite army, so that no one can harm those or that I choose to protect. And this may take an infinite amount of time. And with the offer that William gives, that gives me that option. An infinite amount of time. So with that, I will humbly and very excitingly take your offer. And she looks at her sister and she says, well, I know you use water magic. However, this staff was once the great god of magic and creation, Williams. And then it was mine. The arch mage of golem making. And now, sister, I bestow it upon you. Use it well. Protect our kingdom. And I promise to always watch you from no matter how far we go. And with that, she walks up to us and she places her hand out and grabs our claw, and we bestow upon her a divine rank, and she becomes a divine goddess of golem mastery and artisan creation. And with that, we look at everyone and we say, well, this new world is left to you, for I do not know what lies ahead. However, if you need our call, use this. And I weave my hand, creating a horn that can be blown, that signals us through any time, space, realm, multiverse, existence, etc. And with that, we teleport and take our leave as I leave this multiverse out into a complete void of darkness. And over the course of the next 10,000 years, I create my own multiverse with universes and multiverses and planets and creatures, etc. And then I sit there and I watch from my throne made of suns from the farthest corner of the cosmos as I scatter remnants and whispers of stories of the king who sits upon the sun, and those who can reach him getting their wish granted. And with that, this portion of Heroes Adventure has come to an end. As our new world is created, as our new worlds are created, and with the creation of our new worlds, 60, alright, we are able to contain our creation, and nothing goes wrong, and everything is fine. We are just sitting and waiting for someone to become a champion of the multiverse. And then we will pan back to the other world, the other multiverse, the worlds that we came from. 10,000 years has passed, and in that 10,000 years, everyone that we know lived a good life. They died. They bled gloriously in combat, fighting against monsters, leaving their mark on legend as they built hero guilds that would eventually fall to time as the world and the universe would be consumed with darkness, and the human race would overtake the world and most planets within the universe. And then, about 3,000 years after the humans have cultivated most of the realms, in their hubris, they attempt to cross over into a realm in which they have never been able to breach before. And this time, they failed once again as they tried to breach into my realms. The magic from my divinity backfires, erupting and ripping the entire multiverse asunder. Every world, every realm, every universe turned to ash. And then 100 million years later, from the void of darkness, as the ashes begin to cultivate and combine and collect together, the spark happens as the world is created, and all the lore from the books that I have created comes into existence as the birth of the realms of Voidheart come into creation. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, and join us next time for a whole new campaign with a whole new cast of characters. Thank you all again. I hope you have enjoyed, and I can't wait to see what the Dice Gods have for us next time.